Hi guys, welcome to the second live cast of our blockchain marketing spaceship, UFO to the moon. Last Torsten, how are you guys? How was your day up to now? What have you been up to?
Just start to speak. Yes, I'm muted. No, it's fine. Crazy times for the Bitcoin rally, right? And it's really interesting to see how the charts going up and down, and the community is a little bit crazy right now. So we'll see what the future.
Rightfully so. I mean, very, very exciting times. How is it for you? How is it for you, Torsten?
Yes, for me it's the same. But I'm not a typical trader because of them. I am sure that the Bitcoin will reach the 1 million, and until then I am only I use the technique, but I doesn't. It's not important for me what is the price today and what is the next step and so on.
Yeah, you answered our first question. What is your heartbeat for Bitcoin, Ether, and are you hodling or not?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But yes, I think we're all three on a similar page here. Gather as much as possible and watch it develop. So okay, then maybe we jump. Yes, I want to just very quickly for our audience say who is here, right, in our UFO spaceship today. And first of all, in the middle right now is Lars, co-founder of UFOstart. And we are all about blockchain marketing. And myself, I'm your moderator and advisor to UFOstart. And Basti in the background, who you cannot see, is our marketing lead. Thanks, Basti, for managing all of this. And then very much appreciate you, Torsten Stein is the CTO of authentic.network, which is, and you can explain a little bit better yourself later on what it is actually about. But in the principle is it's an identity validation company and fighting against counterfeit products worldwide, right? And some examples may include like medicine and basically all kinds of different use cases, but we'll get into that in a minute. Yes, for our crowd, this just for information, this cast will last more or less 45 minutes, right? And we'll dive into some general and some specific questions with Torsten. Please use the chat to ask questions, and we will come back to them at the end of our cast and answered in a Q&A session. And who wants to follow us on CrowdCast, please click follow in the upper right corner of your window. Right. This is so far everything as for the intro, and I think we're all waiting for an introduction to authentic.network and yourself, maybe Torsten, so we can get a little bit of a first idea what is the magic all about.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for introduction, for the invitation for this webcast. My name is Torsten Stein. I am the CTO from Authentic. Authentic is a company based in Chemnitz. It's a typical startup founded. I think it was in the middle of 2018, and I started at Authentic in this position at the end of 18. Yeah. That 2 years I'm there. My history is my blockchain experience started years ago, a long time ago, before I switched to Authentic. I'm a typical software developer. I am since 20 years on the road. I saw many corporates from inside. And I had a company, a true consulting company, and inside this company, or with this company, we did our first experience, or our first things with blockchain, and this was 2012. And since then, I'm in this sector, or I'm inside then this, and yeah.
Great. Well, that's quite a long time already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Very,
It's 1 year
very...
before I jumped into the world.
Okay. So maybe let me talk a little about authentic, and then we can start with your questions.
Absolutely. Maybe we can just as a quick outline for our listeners. First, kind of we will dive into a little bit the golden circle that many of you may know, right? By Simon Sinek, which is a why, how, what circle from what is a company all about. Have a little bit of look at the product, and then we dive into some questions, Q&A, and yes, that's how we will finish the cast.
Yeah.
Let's start.
So, okay. Then let me give you a short introduction what authentic, or what authentic is. You can switch to the next year. I'm the man on the right side. On the left side, in the middle, you see my other partners. On the left side is Frank Teig, our CEO. He is the real founder of Authentic, because he had the idea. He had the first contacts to the Silicon Valley, and he is a real idealist, and he started the business. The next people is Christian Geller. That's our it's a salesman, is a business developer. He started this position a half year ago, and he opened our real cool last customer. So, and on the right side, you can see a little bit about my history. I worked for Lufthansa, for Deutsche Bahn, for Bilfinger, and I was this guy there opened these companies for blockchain, and for the first blockchain projects, for the first POCs, and so on. You can switch to next. Next is every startup should have a mission or a mission statement. Our mission statement is, or what we think about the world, is that in 2025, millions of people use authentic network and connect their physical goods, for example, a medical product, or a shoe, or something other clothes, with a digital twin, and this twin is saved or stored on the blockchain. And our goal is that we are the company with the technology to combine that, to make the connection, to bridge between the virtual world and the digital, the real world and the digital world. Next slide, please. Our biggest project at the moment is a project to eliminate the problem of, or to reduce. I don't know if you can eliminate it, or to reduce the problem of counterfeit medications. For example, in Africa, it's normal that more than 50% all drugs and medicines are counterfeits. When you go inside a drugstore, then you have a greater chance to get a counterfeit than the original. And this is a real problem, and we can solve that with our technology. It's really simple because we can put on every package and sign. This is in this case that's our check mark. It's a green check mark, and inside this check mark is embedded and code. And this code we can read out, or we can scan this with a mobile phone, and then can we check this against the database and so on. The next slide, please. What is the authentic way? At the moment, we finished the development of our authentic key. As next step of our roadmap is that we establish a marketplace, and after them we open this marketplace for partners. Then with the goal of with the focus that we can open for partners, and the partners can establish own services based on our technology, and can provide this for its own customers. Next, please. So here you can see an technology overview about the ecosystem, about in 10,000 meter flight height. On the left side, you have the products, and these products are combined or labeled with our key. You can scan this key, and over our API, you can use or can interact then with different database systems. By the way, blockchain is for us not the only database system. It's one of more. Typically, we store our information in CRM systems, in a SAP system, or in typical relational database systems, and so on. So, and on the left and the right side, this is then our target for the next 3 years, that we come into this marketplace and can provide some more services, additional service for products like cashback, location services. Where was the scan? Where was the original scan? Where is this a hotspot of fake scans, and so on. Next, please. So I gave a short introduction on the video slide, but what is our technology real? You can imagine every people know what is in QR code. And QR code is in print, in simple print, or it's like a picture, and you can, with an app, you can read out that, and inside the QR code is stored an ID or URL or something else. But the problem is when you put this QR code on a copy machine, or you make a picture from it, then you can send out this copy or these pictures to many people in the world. And every people there has one of this copy can use the same functionality. There's embedded maybe inside the QR code. For the QR code, there's developed for this problem. That's really good. But what our focus was that we have a copy-proof code. This means when you put our code on a copy machine, and then you rescan the copy, then we can detect it. We can say it is a copy from this original. And this is really cool, because with this technology you can realize many new things. You can authorize maybe simple papers. You can verify if this a real product from this producer or not. You can You can build some other nice services. Maybe you can put it on or every people can put it on his own stuff, on its own computer and so on. You can connect this computer together with a digital twin on a blockchain or somewhere other in the database, and can show everybody that he is the owner, for example. And maybe short history, we developed this since 2 years. At the moment, we are rolled out that in the mass production. This means that we have solved some challenges to print this in millions of pieces in a short time. But I think we are on a good way, and we can solve these challenges in the next 3 months, and then we jump back inside the blockchain development and so on.
Yeah, thanks, Torsten, for the intro. That's very exciting, and one can there's many questions popping up, right? Very specific to your model, but I will hold them back for now until we get to the specific questions. But I can see like use cases flying by in front of my mental eye. A quick question: Do we have the golden circle too of authentic? Maybe you can just talk about it. We don't need the slides. Maybe kind of at the core is kind of why, kind of what is the driver of you guys? Why are you guys doing it? What is your big why? Maybe there's a personal story attached how you came to it.
Really, I would say we every people have other why inside our on the management level. For Frank Take, for our CEO, it's he like to change the world. For me, it's the technique.
That's a good separation between CEO and CTO. That works quite well.
This is that's not we are not in a fight with that. It's more we can add this two whys to a bigger why. I would say, but for me, maybe we come later to that. We can come later to that because when I started with blockchain, then many of this use cases they are run outside doesn't make sense. It's only that people bring stupid things on the blockchain and means that is better than before. But normally, I think 80% it doesn't make sense to do that. So, and for me, it's the goal that we or my why is to make a thing, a use case that makes sense to do that, and bring real life on the blockchain network. This is my biggest target.
Yeah, I can see must be since you're in the scene since 2012, right? To see something working or create something to work out on the blockchain must be quite rewarding. Maybe Lars, we go over to our standard questions, right? So we have 2 sets of questions. Just as a quick reminder, if you're seeing our cast for the first time, it's our second cast. And we always have a set of 6 questions that we ask our guests that are the same, so we can have a little overview of different answers to the same questions, and then we come to a second set of questions, which is specifically targeted to the particular model of our guests. So now we would slip into our standard questions, and I hand over to Lars.
So, because of you answered our first question, when and how you started in the blockchain world, I want to ask you why it makes more sense to use blockchain technology in the authentic network case. Yeah, you mean, okay, you want to have a real product and have to make sense that the blockchain is really necessary to use it on authentic. Why it's the way for you to use it for authentic?
I expect that in the future that we that the digital twins or the how is it correct? I expect that in the future every good has a digital twin. For example, when you have a car, then the car has a digital twin. There is inside. That's written inside. When was the car produced? Where was the first owner, second owner? When was at the service station, and so on. So, and when you have it, or when you lost this digital twin for a product, then the price for the next market will going down, will decrease, and you have the only option is you sell your car in the outside Germany. That's my expectation. And this expectation is for me that we have this in the next years for all products. And at the moment, you have no, or it's very hard to combine a physical good with a digital world, because you have the same problem inside a blockchain, or what for blockchain stands, that you prevent the double spending problem, that you have an answer of that nobody can make a copy, and so on. And because this, I think we need that, and this is the key, that the blockchain can create more life in the next time. This is my why. Yeah.
Okay, regards to the second question, you mentioned that you worked for some big corporates like Deutsche Bank and Bilfinger, and you saw many stupid use cases maybe, but what was your eye-opener that you realize blockchain is the way to go for you? So
my eye-opener was that I heard for the first time from smart contracts, because I heard it, and then I started to research what it is, and what can you do with that, and so on. And what I saw at this moment is that's the chance that you can enforce your own rules over the complete network without you having a connection at this moment to the network, and that's really cruel. For example, when you are a book writer, and then you bring this book on the Amazon store, typically on the cloud, then you need to trust Amazon that every reader pay a small fee for that, and then you will getting this fee later. With a smart contract, you can define these rules by self, and the network check, or the network is the enforcement to that nobody can use this good with by the way, and nobody, everybody needs to pay the fee for you, and this is really cruel. For me, it was in this moment, it was like an flash moment. It was so I have now the chance to I have a new level of the internet. At the internet, I need host all my services myself and all my rules myself and so on. And when the computer is disconnected, then I have a problem. But when I store it inside a smart contract, then it runs in the next years. It never ends the running.
Hmm.
It runs so long the network lives.
Today, Ethereum is the leader for smart contracts. I know there are many other projects, but a question. There are some proposals in the big Bitcoin blockchain world or community to set up or implement smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain base too. What do you think about the future? Is it the chance that Ethereum will be the market leader in the future, or do you have some experience in the Bitcoin blockchain world for smart contracts too?
No, with blockchain, with Bitcoin and smart contracts, I have no experience.
Okay.
For Bitcoin, for me, it's real. It's the digital gold, not more. And good second product or a good second system is coming up. Is Cardano. This has the same attributes, the same focus like Ethereum. It's I would say 5 years behind Ethereum maybe, but the system has new approaches for the consensus algorithm and so on. And because of this, I think a good option or a really good option for a second option is Cardano, and but I think the leader is or expected leader is Ethereum.
Okay. In our warm-up pre-talk, we talked about your current situation, and you mean, okay, we are a typical startup, and for a typical startup, what was your biggest challenge the last 2 years, maybe?
I would say their own high targets.
The own high targets, okay.
Yes. For example, this is maybe this is a problem for us because you need to imagine we're working on the mobile phones and mobile phones has its own challenges. We need the access to the camera and this is really challenging every day. Yeah, I would say in another startup you have other challenges. One of the biggest is every time that the first customer. This is every time the same. When you have won it, then many doors opens then parallel.
Yeah, that's a challenge too, right? Your product is not finished, and you have some use cases, and so that's a good move to the next question. You have some prototype versions, you have some use cases in place, and what was maybe a growth hack or recommendation? I know you are the CTO and not the CMO, but we had some workshops together, and was there a growth hack to get some first projects or test clients or use cases? I know Frank was in Africa, right? So
to get your first use case, I think it's every time a little bit gambling. You need to present the customer a product that working not 100%, and because of this you need to make or to create up and like in facade a little bit more and so on. As a growth hack, I think we started we provide for the community. It was 1 year ago. Some check marks, some of these codes. And then we tested how many people or how many developers we can reach with that. Is an interest there. We work together with the school or with university, yes, with the University of Mittweida. And we talked a little about that, and then we talked a little about our targets, about the Africa problem with the counterfeits and so on. And then the community starts by itself. And generated at this point then our use cases. Mostly these use cases was not the best cases in money. It was more for testing and so on.
Yeah, but Frank traveled, I don't know, 1 month or so through Africa and had some contacts to governance. He was on conferences. What was the first approach to travel to Africa? Which country in Africa was it?
This is Frank was we are working together with Côte d'Ivoire. The old name is Elfenbeinküste. Yes, the first contact was it was in convention in Chemnitz. It was provided.
There was no growth hack.
Yeah, it was. This was more classical. It was in convention on the event provided from the IHK, Industrie- und Handelskammer, and we meet there some people from other countries, some from the Côte d'Ivoire, and then we started with them, and we reached with every step the next. With every small step, a small new level. Okay. So and then Frank jumped the first time 1 year ago, I think so. It was 1 year ago in the plane and opened the doors in the country. Mm-hmm. That was very important because Africa is a little bit heavy, or it's not so easy. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next question. I was speaker on the Fuck Up Night, and we thought it's really interesting to ask you some questions about this typical problems too. What was your most serious setback for your startup? It's not only one, or
my biggest was not at Authentic. At Authentic we have every time small setbacks because our last setback was the switch from iOS 13 to 14.
Really?
Why? Yeah, this ruined our camera stack inside the app. But this is normal. This is live. My biggest because we are here for blockchain, talking about blockchain. My biggest setback was my old company, and this was the reason that I sold my company, because I saw, or it was an eye opener that I advise the customer not for blockchain things. It was more in legal advice. The rate was I was there for with 20% that we create new ideas and then realize in POC and so on. That was 20%. 80% was that I was the legal advisor for the legal division and so on. And this was for me the biggest frustration. And then comes Frank with the idea to me of Authentic, and this was the start that I say, okay, I switch to Authentic and we develop an own cool product by now, from now.
Okay. Yeah, question 7. Which other project are you interesting at the moment? You mentioned Cardano. There are some other new startups, coming stars.
Other project, I keep an eye on it, is Polkadot, because at the moment I think the Ethereum is like a truck, and the truck is it's running, it's working, and you can drive through the country with that. That's really cool. It's done and so on. We have some problems with the consensus algorithm. Maybe we need to change to proof of stake and so on. But the real thing is that you can put some things on this truck. And for me, it's to solve some of these problems. I have a good feeling that that Polkadot can do that. Because of this, I follow the news of it. Then other thing is, but I'm not so inside because I'm not the trader and so on. But what I have not the best feeling to the finance things, but I think that the DeFi things is a good.
Well, the decentralized finance project,
it's
based on
projects, all their below. It's cool things. But at the moment, I'm my focus is on Cardano, and I expect that we use this as one of the first blockchain for our company.
Okay. But why it's Polkadot for you? The main competitor of Polkadot is based in Berlin too. It's called Cosmos.
Yeah.
You know Cosmos? Why is there a difference for you from the technical perspective, maybe?
No. Yeah, I know Cosmos. Yeah. The reason that I follow Polkadot and some other projects is that at the moment you can use Ethereum really then more as to sell bus tickets, because you have so much problems. You can't put on inside the smart contracts real business logic because it's the price is too high, the transaction costs and so on. Because this we need some solutions for that challenges, and Polkadot can provide many things of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we heard in our first CrowdCast too from the guys of BlockX. They are using Stellar because it's cheaper, and for them it was easier to set up for the tests, and it was so much easier for them to against maybe Ethereum or whatever. So okay. Yeah, you answered the last question right now.
Okay.
What is your heartbeat for Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some altcoins? But you are not a trader. You are hodling since 2012.
Yeah. No. Also, my first
or you
invest
lost your
was later.
You lost your
No.
keys like the guy from the newspaper today.
No. But I had some same situation. It was 2 weeks ago. Yes, 2 weeks ago. I surfed through my computers and then my notes, and I found from an old presentation. It was 2 or 3 years ago. And inside this presentation, I showed or I demonstrated how easy it is and send some money, send some ETH from one address to the other address. And for that, I realized that I did that on the production system, and I can remember I spent value for 2-3 euros. And then I refound this address. I checked this address, and now it was $120. This was cool, but this is really really smaller than what I read today in the newspaper.
Yeah. The guy for our people here in the background, the guy from the news today lost 200 million, I think. So, and you still have your private keys for the $100?
Yeah, I found it then, and I moved or I transferred that to my real addresses, and yeah.
Okay.
And for example, I for the Cardano wallet, I use in paper wallet. I wrote down my words, and then I wait 5 years, and then we will check that.
I hope that the what is it? Tinte? Yeah. Is still there.
You mean the color? Yeah, you mean the color? Yeah, for the paper that doesn't bleach out. Yeah.
Okay, two special questions from my side. I saw some pictures of Frank in Africa, and I have to ask you, okay, what was the experience in Africa? We are talking with many startups, and when I think, okay, I have to fly to Africa and have to talk some governance guys, politicians or whatever, for me it is really crazy. What was your experience, or from Frank? Maybe you know this.
The first challenge is that in Africa, the most people are talking French, and only that. And I was wondering, Frank, no word talking in French, that he asked him, that he asked the truth, and that he reached his goals. This I was very impressed of it. The first thing is that in Africa, nobody comes by self to you. You need an driver for this. You need to motivate you every day in the morning from new. For example, when he was first time in Cote d'Ivoire, he was sitting for 2 days inside his hotel room, and all the contacts he doesn't can realize the appointments. So then he started a connection on a new way from there over our government back to the government to Cote d'Ivoire, and then he had the appointments after 2 days. And this is Frank.
And this is like a growth hack. It's not a marketing growth hack, but okay, you have to do this sometimes. Okay. Now I remember that he mentioned he has to wear a suit every day, or And is there some other business rules in Africa which are important for startups?
I'm not
40 degrees and you have to wear a suit, right? It's crazy.
Yes. But I'm in our company. Everybody has his own area, and because of this, I'm not real inside its challenges, and I can only talk what Frank told some stories from there. But in Africa, it's very slow. What you do here in Germany, maybe in one day, you need there 1 month.
You can't do your business really pushy with the guys there, right?
Yes. But okay. I think we are typical startups doesn't start in Africa. We are the only one, or
and you have to drink and eat with them first, and then you can do business.
Yes. And this eat and drink can during over hours, and only in the last 5 minutes you can talk about the real thing, or what you are there.
Yeah.
It seems to me like a lot of our local how business is done could use a little more eating and drinking together before before talking about business. So probably have some different partnerships going on. But
because of this that we doesn't understand all the local rules and so on. Because of this, we hired 2 people there. And one of this is a project. It's a project leader, yeah, and this project leader realized or control all what we do there to bring our check marks on the medicine and on the drugs. Because you has no chance to monitor or to control this from here.
Interesting. You are muted, Lars.
I'm muted?
No,
Lars.
Yeah, I only that was my last question. Thank you very much, and I think the time we are on.
Thanks for all the insights, especially about Africa. I mean, this is really special, right? This is not a story that you hear every day. Like combination, a German blockchain startup enters African markets. That's kind of very, very interesting. As Lars said, we're almost at the limit of our cast, like time-wise. But as always, we have a little Q&A session for our audience, and I will just pick out 1-2 questions from the audience and ask you. Right, there's one which I tease it a little bit because I think you may maybe that's the secret sauce. But it's like, how do you actually detect the copies, right? When you when your codes are being scanned, you say you can detect the copies. Can you say anything about that, or is that the secret sauce that you need to keep to yourself, which is understandable?
No, we have a patent on it because this we can talk about it. With the patient, all are invited to use this technique. It's simple. When you are inside, or when you know how printing working, then you know that that you have in CMYK you have different color layers, and every of these color layers are contains little dots. And these dots are rotated in an angle between the layers. What we do is that we bring inside like arrows, or like we change the structure a little bit. And what now it happens is when you put it on a copy machine, then the copy machine restarts making a scan, then starts a rip process. The rip process is that the picture will break down inside these dots, and the copy machine doesn't know that we changed the information, that we bring some errors inside, and because of this, these errors will removed from the next copy step. And we developed this technology there that we trained. For example, we trained an AI that to detect this. This is for technical persons. It's like you have a signal. You have in German we say Rechteck signal in the transmitting technology, and what you have is when you make a copy, then the sides from down to up or from up to down, it's not so hard. It's more like, for example, more like an sinus curve. And this happens this effect will increase with every copy step.
Okay, great. Thanks for giving us some insight on the technology. Happy you could share something. Now, if we have Lars, you give me the thumb. Do we have time for one more question? All right. Okay. So let's maybe have one more. And basically, just I have one message here that says you said before that you are not exclusively working on the blockchain, but you're also using other bases like CRMs and SAP and all of that. As a company and blockchain enthusiast yourselves, why is
that? Do you can remember? Do you can repeat that?
Yes. So you basically said before that you're not only working on a blockchain base, right? But you're also using other databases or CRMs and SAP, other systems, right? What is the reasoning for that?
The reason that we doesn't only support blockchain is that the most companies or the most customers are what is the correct English name? He is überfordert.
Yes, they're conservative, right? They too much for them.
It's too much. It's a too big challenge to realize that, and I think we are in a good way that the company is open by itself for that. That more data will stored outside. That you doesn't have every time the control over it. But at the moment it's too early, and in the blockchain, because of this blockchain, you can only more use in the B2C, and in real B2B, it's too early. And because of this, the first question is every time when we put the check mark on our products, it's possible to store the information inside our CRM system, and this is typical in an SAP system.
Understood. So we'll have to move the big corporate slowly but surely onto the blockchain. All right. Understood. Okay. Very last one, right? A very last question, and then we need to finish. And that is what are the top 3 use cases that you are excited about for the coming years?
The first use case is finance, because I expect when Bitcoin and Ether usable at a normal restaurant or in other shops and so on. This is the biggest use case, because it's really simple for everyone and so on. The second, I think it's but I hope that's it. What we do, it's quantified. And the third, I would say, it's the DeFi sector, yeah, because you can really easily automate the rules. You can easily automate the payments, the insurances inside supply chains and so on. That's what I expect. Yeah.
Thank you very much for answering all of our questions, right? Nosy as we are, right? Poking everywhere. Thanks a lot for joining the podcast, Torsten.
Yeah.
And
No problem.
to Authentic and all. So every one of you listeners, check out authentic.network. Really exciting product. I'm happy to talk more about different use cases for you specifically, right? For Authentic. Quite exciting. And yes, don't forget to subscribe on our top right corner. Right. And yes, I guess that's it from our side.
Yeah, thank you very much, Torsten, and I hope we see you soon in the snow in the area of Chemnitz and Fichtelberg, maybe.
Yeah. We talked last week about that, and we hope that we can do that this year because Austria is closed. Yeah.
Yeah, crossing fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.